jeep and the laughter can. Going down to Bananaland is more fun than Disney or Graceland. One heck of a theme park, Bananaland.
At Bananaland, there's something for everybody. How about you, lady?
I've been to Bananaland.
Oh, yes, tell the people.
I didn't get laid, I didn't get tanned. It's not like any trip I planned. But I'm so glad I came to Bananaland.
Yes, we're so glad you came to Bananaland.
Queen, I am Senior General Anastasio Somoza Di Baye, head of the National Guard, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, President of the National Emergency Committee, President of the Agricultural Committee, delegate to the Central American Common Market, leader of the National Liberal Party, head of the Foreign Finance Committee, candidate for President of the Republic, ex-President of the Republic, Senator for life, the head honcho, the Bay Enchilada, the top banana, ridiculous parody of a national leader, and a close personal friend of Richard Nixon. Welcome to my world. Please follow along with me on the map as I explain to you Bananaland. In Bananaland, there are two guided tours. One takes you to the United Fruit Company's Bananaland Museum. And one takes you to the World Showcase, this month featuring Guatemala. Between your first and second guided tours, many attractions will be open for your perusal. If you have any questions during your stay here, please do not hesitate to ask me or any of our informants, each of which has been carefully handpicked by Juan Valdez. So please, enjoy yourselves.
In the beginning, before the great divide. In the beginning, before the great divide, the gods gave each people a gift to sustain itself and pass on to future generations. Proper use of the gift would ensure everlasting life. Misuse would bring about pain, loss, and devastation. To those of the West, they gave the secret of fire. They used their knowledge to touch the stars and make bullets for profit and death. To those of the East, they gave the secret of the soul. They mechanized it and tried to buy up the world. To those of the North, they gave coin, a staple more valuable than gold. They traded their knowledge for beads and firewater and lost their land and their homes. To those of the South, they gave banana. Those who betrayed the secret of the banana were slipped from their pedestals of power. Let he who must swallow the bitterness become wise. Bananas are not forever, and someone always pays. Someone always pays.
There are many hazards between the maturity and the cutting. A fierce tropical storm could spring up out of nowhere, sweep across the plantation, and mow down the heavy, mature trees. Or the river may rise, overflow its banks, and flood the entire plantation.
Oh, no.
Any one of 53 insect pests may attack the plant. Oh, so ugly. Well, it was great American ingenuity that created this golden garden. As our bananas grew, with them grew railroads, steamships, radio and telegraph networks, hospitals, schools, kids, and perhaps most important of all, a better understanding between the United States and our Central American cousins. Please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop before we detrain. Thank you.
United fruit, from Nova Scotia to Beirut. We found the most ingenious way to keep bananas cheap today. When volume's high, price can be low. Oh, what a smart scenario. United fruit, with all our best.
And I'm Helen, and
Welcome to the Bananaland Museum. We've asked the Reverend William Wright to deliver the invocation on behalf of the United Fruit Company.
Good evening, friends. This is the Reverend Billy Wright welcoming you to this wonderful educational facility and reminding you that the banana has a special place on every Christian table. The text for my message is taken from Matthew chapter 7, verse 20. By their fruits you shall know them. Yes, friends, every American should know and profit from the history of the United Fruit Company, a company that has awakened slumbering nations with the quickening tonic of Yankee enterprise, transforming the deadly swamps and jungles into productive gardens. You know, if the Nobel Peace Prize could be awarded to a corporation, the United Fruit Company would have valid claim to that recognition. Please join me now in giving thanks. Lord, we thank you for this nourishing and educational museum and for the sizable gift from an anonymous donor that made it possible. However, friends, the Lord can only stretch a dollar so far. So please send your contributions to Tropical Gardens Ministries, trailer number 7, Palatka, Florida, 32183-2207. Amen.
Let's jump back in time to 1910 to see how United Fruit came to farm Honduras.
That will give you an opportunity to meet one of the most colorful characters in the banana trade, Sam the Banana Man Zamuri.
Good evening, I'm Alistair Cook with more stories of the triumphs of rich white people. This evening we continue our series on bananas, the fruit of the wise. Last week you may remember we left Sam Zamuri plotting to overthrow the government of Honduras. Those were the days. Reminds me of those panty raids we used to have at Dartmouth College, but that's another story. Anyway, Zamuri, Manuel Bonilla, and the celebrated guerrilla General Lee Christmas were under constant observation by the Secret Service. How could they outwit the State Department and regain control of Honduras? Tonight's episode, Honduras or Tits, I mean to say Bust, episode 23.
Our story begins on the treacherous New Orleans waterfront on a cold December morning in 1910. It was here that Sam Zimmerie's henchpeople, Machine Gun Guy Maloney, and the legendary guerrilla General Lee Christmas supervised the loading of a newly equipped gunboat, the Hornet. They worked under the watchful eye of the United States Secret Service, whose agents were under strict orders not to allow Christmas, Maloney, or Manuel Bobby Bonilla to leave the country, and especially not aboard the Hornet. For 2 days, the Secret Service maintained their vigilant watch, but the Hornet was loading with nothing more threatening than coal. The agents searched the ship a dozen times, but always only coal. On December 20th, the Hornet was grudgingly cleared to sail, its alleged destination, Nicaragua. And this is where the story really begins.
Well, Helen, I think it's about time we wrapped up the official portion of our tour, but we certainly hope you will wander around on your own. One of our most cherished exhibits is our Carmen Miranda Bananaland collection. It is available for your perusal. We'll be showing an interview with a Banana-A-Day author, Roy Dunlap, on our video monitor. I'd like to point out our Caucasian reaffirmation of superiority space in the corner there. And many of our visitors have asked about the most recent history of the fruit company. Well, in 1958, as a result of a nasty antitrust suit brought against us by the Justice Department, I'm sure that you will be as distressed as I was to learn that we were forced to curtail our activity in Guatemala.
And in 1975, Eli Black, president of United Fruit, accused of bribing the president of Honduras, walked to his corner office on the 44th floor of the Pan Am building in New York, smashed a hole in the quarter-inch window, and jumped to his death.
Enjoy the rest of your tour.
And have a nice day.
Frequent visitors to Anastasio's Cafe Cabaret know that we receive copious amounts of mail from our former friends and employees. And I have something I'd like to share with you now. This comes to us from Queensland, Australia. A housewife in Queensland named Mrs. E.T. Junker. And she writes, I have experimented with bananas, as I believe you have, Juanita.
Oh, yes, very often.
And if housewives only knew its virtue as a food and medicine, they would eat bananas every day. She goes on to say, bananas cooked in the oven till hot and sprinkled with sugar and lemon juice make a surprisingly appetizing luncheon or supper dish. Mm. I like that. Let's say that together. Mm. Scalloped bananas and tomatoes. Or poached eggs and bananas sprinkled with grated cheese. Make excellent breakfast dishes and are a welcome change from bacon and eggs.
And this part of Mrs. Junker's letter was of special interest to me, as I'm sure it will be to you ladies in the audience. Hot bananas at bedtime help in relaxation and can take the place of meat when it is not available. Isn't that great, girls?
Certainly good news to the rest of us.
In old Havana, on every street a gay casino, where continentals sip their vino and leave their fortunes to chance. In old Havana, where matrons draped in real fashions prolong the twilight of their passions in mad pursuit of romance. Every gay señorita is disarming some foreign merchant with the skill of a plastic surgeon. Life is so completely zany and free by the balmy Caribbean Sea. In old Havana, where every golden coat of suntan has cost the gold of more than one man, who was not warned in advance. He made tape to his heart all the perils of chance. Then as they token for the dough that he sunk, he gets a little label slapped on his back. In old Havana.
Juanita!
Sis?
You're getting carried away again. Just a
Oh,
little.
oh, please excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me catch my breath. Oh. Can you start back at the... Ah!
Of course.
In old Havana, where every golden coat of suntan has cost the gold of more than one man, who was not warned in advance. He made tape to his heart all the perils of chance. Then as they token for the dough that he sunk, he gets a little label slapped on his trunk. In old Havana.
PR, up with us, make a fuss, bang a drum. We are PR, we're the best, trash the rest, they're ho-hum. When is a lie not a lie? When it's to your advantage, so put on that suit and tie. Remember us, no job is better than no job. With us, make a fuss, bang a drum. We are PR. We're the best, trash the rest, they're ho-hum. Say it often enough and it's true. Say it loud enough, people will believe you. We're the best, trash the rest. We're PR.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, General Anastasio, President of Bananaland Airlines, would like to welcome you aboard Flight 1954 to Guatemala. At this time, we will pass through the metal detectors and board our plane. So please, walk this way.
Flight PA179 from Toronto to New York and Eastern Minnesota has just landed.
Operation Success was really very simple. Establish a radio station in the capital city to create panic and confusion through its constant barrage of false facts. Meanwhile, the colonel continues to march back and forth across the jungle with his tiny but highly visible rebel army, largely for the benefit of foreign newsreel cameras.
Meanwhile, late at night, Ambassador Purifoy would play recordings of rebel bombings off the speakers on the rooftop of the U.S. Embassy in Guatemala City. Hey, let's see what we got here. Haunted house? No, that's not scary enough. Your pet cat? No. Oh, there it is. Rebel bombing. Kaboom! Blammo!
Democratically elected President Arbenz is confused. So what's going on? I hear all these bombs, but I don't see anything.
Rebel bombing!
People are frightened. We're frightened. On the other hand, all this revolution stuff could be for real.
Pop.
Yeah, we could get killed. I'd better do something. I know.
Kaboom!
Arm my people.
But Arben's military wouldn't allow him to arm his people. The officers' corps revolted against the president. It looked like it was all over for him. President Arbenz addresses his people.
My friends, Guatemalans, we are enduring a most difficult trial. In whose name have these barbarous acts been committed? We know very well. The truth is to be found in the financial interests of the United Fruit Company and other U.S. monopolies. They fear the example of Guatemala will be followed by other Latin American nations. One day, the obscured forces which now oppress the colonized world will be defeated. I have made a sad and cruel judgment. I have decided to step down. Long live Guatemala!
A victorious Armas is flown into Guatemala City on a U.S. Embassy plane, along with the Papal Nuncio! Domini, 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 Domini.
A small crowd gathers to greet the new leader, and a party ensues, with firecrackers supplied by the CIA.
You got it. Castillo, good buddy. Now that we've got you in office, just got a few laws we'd like you to sign here. That'd be great. Sign right here. This would return 1.5 million acres to the local landowners. Oh, and 250,000 acres back to United Fruit Company. Oh, that's great. Thanks. This one right here, this would abolish a little over 500 labor unions.
Why did
Sign
I
right
think
there.
of that?
Oh, thanks. This one right here, this would outlaw communism.
Okay.
Oh, and we've got this little list of about 200,000 people we'd like to question.
Good as dead!
Thanks. If you'd sign right here, this will ban all subversive books.
Okay.
That's that pretty bonfire you see in the background.
Nice touch.
Oh, nice. Oh, and if you'd sign right here, this will outlaw all political parties. There's such a problem at election time, you know. Just sign it. Yeah, thanks.
Anything else?
Yeah, the pen's mine. Oh, and by the way, Castillo, good buddy, I've got a little something for you, too. Here's $80 million! Oh, you guys. Hey, Castillo. Castillo, we're going to have a little party at my house. Care to join us?
No, thank you. I have business to attend to.
Well, hey, shoot yourself. Hey, folks, party in my house. Everybody's invited. Gonna have a great time. Celebrate our little coup, huh? And wait till the missus gets here. Boy, has she got us. Why, here she is now.
Hi.
Don't you look lovely this evening, sweetheart?
Thank you very much.
The little lady has a special surprise in store for us. She has written a special little song just for this occasion.
That's right, I really did.
And guess what? It's going to be published in next month's issue of Time magazine.
It really is.
I am so proud of you. Why don't you sing the song for the folks, honey?
Sing a song of Quetzal's pockets full of peace. The hunters in the palace, they've taken out a lease. The commies are in hiding just across the street. To the embassy of Mexico, they beat a quick retreat. And pistol back and Purifoy looks mighty optimistic.
Ready?
For the land of Guatemala is
Aims
no longer communistic.
Fire!
success.
I complain to the UN. Me quejo a las Naciones Unidas.
I have a prestigious New York law firm, and my best friend is the editor of the New York Times. Tengo un bufete de abogados prestigioso en Nueva York, y mi mejor amigo es el director del New York Times.
I throw rocks at your buildings. Le tiro piedras a tus edificios.
I train your police in anti-terrorist methods. Yo entreno a tu policía en métodos antiterroristas.
I join a revolutionary army. Me hago miembro de un ejército revolucionario.
I develop low-intensity combat strategies funded by right-wing millionaires. Desarrollo estrategias de combate poco intensivas.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Tongue, toes, out, off, bloody.
Let me assure the people of Guatemala, as peace and freedom are restored to that sister republic, the government of the United States will continue to support the just aspirations of the Guatemalan people. A prosperous and progressive Guatemala is vital to a healthy hemisphere. Thus, we shall seek in positive ways to make our Americas an example which will inspire men everywhere.
Admiration that I introduce to you tonight my friend and colleague, the noted Public Relations Counsel, Edward Bernays, recipient of the American...
And I was struck with the thought that, well, although I was merely advising a banana company, I was actually fighting in the Cold War. And by early June of '54, the situation had become so explosive in Guatemala that the major newspapers stayed in constant touch with me at Fruit Company headquarters in Boston to see what news I could furnish them from Guatemala. Now, the journalists' dependence on me as the source of their information illustrates what a tremendous responsibility we have to engineer consent wisely. For let us never fail to understand that those of us who manipulate the habits and the opinions of the masses constitute an invisible government, the true ruling power of this country. But let us also remember that the engineering of consent is at the vital essence of the democratic process. And the freedom to inform...
Oh, Bananaland!